Many of us have been told we have so much potential, but what happens when that potential becomes a trap? The idea of being promising can be a double-edged sword, offering both praise and pressure. While it sounds motivating, it can create a false sense of security that stifles actual growth. In this article, we'll explore how clinging to the idea of potential can hold you back, why it often leads to procrastination, and how to break free to take real, impactful action. It's time to stop waiting for your potential to unfold. Let's talk about making it happen. Today we will talk about escaping the potential trap, when being promising holds you back. So before we start, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. 1. The allure of potential. In every phase of life, we hear the phrase, "You have so much potential." Whether it's from a teacher, mentor, or even a parent, it feels like the ultimate compliment, a badge of honor. But in many ways, being told you have potential can become more of a curse than a blessing. It creates an expectation, one that is often left unfulfilled. When you're constantly told you have potential but aren't quite able to realize it, you may fall into a cycle of complacency. Rather than pushing yourself to take action, the idea that someday you'll reach your potential leads to procrastination. This internal delay feeds into a dangerous cycle. The longer you wait for something to magically happen, the further you move away from actualizing that potential. It's in these moments of waiting that you fall into the potential trap, where you become stuck in the fantasy of what you could be instead of taking the small, actionable steps needed to get there. The key lies in recognizing that potential in itself means nothing without the deliberate action to bring it to life. 2. The illusion of future success. At the heart of the potential trap is an illusion, the belief that success is waiting just around the corner. This illusion often stems from the idea that I'll be ready when the time is right, or I just need a bit more preparation. While preparation is crucial, it becomes a problem when it serves as a form of avoidance. When you're constantly thinking that you need one more skill, one more course, or one more opportunity to succeed, you're avoiding the uncomfortable reality of taking the leap. This postponement breeds a false sense of security, as the idea of potential success becomes more about waiting for the ideal moment rather than creating it. The discomfort of action, of failure, or of the unknown seems too risky, so you keep postponing. In reality, though, it's the experience of action itself, even when it's imperfect, that leads to growth and transformation. Success rarely happens in a smooth, linear trajectory, but in the messy, iterative process of trying and failing. The sooner you accept that, the sooner you break free from the trap. 3. The pressure to be perfect. One of the most insidious effects of being told you have potential is the subconscious pressure to be perfect. When you're constantly aware that people see something special in you, there can be an overwhelming feeling to always perform at the highest level. This fear of failure or not living up to expectations can paralyze you. The idea that you must be perfect in every aspect before acting often causes analysis paralysis. You begin to overthink every decision, constantly worrying about making the wrong move. Instead of focusing on the next step, you're caught up in fear of what might go wrong. This leads to procrastination and avoidance. But perfection doesn't exist, and striving for it often means never getting started. Embracing the fact that imperfection is a natural part of the process allows you to take risks and make progress, one step at a time. 4. How comfort zones keep you stuck. Comfort zones are another major player in the potential trap. It's easy to fall into a pattern where you stick with what feels familiar because it's safe. The idea of potential, in this context, is often linked to a fear of the unknown. You know that taking action means stepping outside of what's comfortable, and for many, this can feel overwhelming. The longer you remain in your comfort zone, the more you rely on the idea that you'll someday break out, without realizing that someday never arrives unless you make it happen. When you think of potential as something that will unfold automatically, you allow yourself to remain stuck in a space that no longer serves your growth. True progress begins at the edge of your comfort zone, where you face challenges, failures, and discomfort. But it's through this discomfort that real transformation occurs. Breaking free from this cycle is about recognizing the illusion of comfort and taking intentional risks. 5. The fear of reaching full potential. There's an ironic fear that often accompanies the idea of potential, the fear of actually reaching it. For some, being told you have potential creates an identity around the idea of what could be rather than what is. This makes the idea of actual success feel threatening, as if it would somehow diminish the magic of potential. If you were to reach the pinnacle of your potential, who would you be then? What would you strive for next? This fear of success stems from an underlying anxiety about losing the identity of someone with potential. It becomes easier to stay in the role of the person who is almost there, rather than the person who has actually made it. But this self-sabotage keeps you stagnant. To break free from this trap, it's essential to shift your mindset from being fixated on the destination, your potential, to valuing the process of growth and the journey toward it. 6. How comparison traps you in your own potential. Another sneaky way that the potential trap works is through comparison. When you see others succeeding or achieving things you want for yourself, it becomes easy to feel like you're falling short of your own potential. This constant comparison reinforces the idea that you're not doing enough, which further holds you back. Instead of seeing your journey as unique to you, you measure your progress against someone else's. This kind of thinking not only drains your energy but also leads to feelings of inadequacy. The problem with this is that every individual's path to success looks different. Comparing yourself to others is an exercise in futility, as you never see the behind-the-scenes struggles that led to their success. 7. Overcoming the fear of failure. The fear of failure is perhaps the most paralyzing element within the potential trap. Failure is often seen as the opposite of potential. When we're told we have potential, we may become afraid of doing anything that might risk proving we don't live up to it. This fear can be crippling, causing us to freeze in our tracks rather than take chances. But the truth is, failure is not a sign that you lack potential. It's simply a step along the way to achieving it. Failure provides invaluable lessons, builds resilience, and often redirects you toward better strategies. The only true failure comes from not trying at all. To escape the potential trap, you need to change your relationship with failure. Embrace it, learn from it, and see it as a natural part of your growth. 8. Taking action. The key to escaping the trap. The ultimate solution to the potential trap is action. It's easy to stay stuck in the abstract idea of what you could be, but the reality is that growth only happens when you start making real progress, regardless of how small that progress may seem. Waiting for the perfect time or the right conditions often leads to inaction. Rather than waiting, start with small steps. Take imperfect action. Try, fail, learn, and try again. The process of action breaks the cycle of procrastination, fear, and doubt. The key is to stop waiting for the potential to unfold and begin unfolding it yourself. No one ever achieved success by merely resting on the promise of potential. They achieved it by doing, learning, and evolving. If you like this video and would like to see more like it, please give it the thumbs up. Leave a comment and click the button to subscribe.